Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to our channel. How's everybody doing? Hey, Obodo fam. Thank you so much, everybody. Can you hear me? Is there anybody here? Good afternoon, good evening. Rebecca Hills, thank you for being here. Sarah, welcome. How's everyone doing? Neka, happy Sunday. Lovely to see you. Hope you are good. Welcome, everybody. Romari TV, hey, in-law, how are you? I hope everything is fine. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being early. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope your weekend is going well. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is Sunday, the 22nd of October, 2023. So we're glad to be here again to be able to talk, rub minds. Actually, Brother Ernest is in the building. He was supposed to be here last Sunday, but because we had a guest whose case was pretty serious, he was gracious enough to give her the space to come and share. That was Sarah. Sarah was here last Sunday. And I do have an update about Sarah that I will share with you guys maybe in subsequent shows. But today we are here to talk about sponsorship, which is a subject that Brother Ernest is very passionate about. You guys remember Brother Ernest's book? Both of the book are still on Amazon. I think the one we're going to be focusing on today is this one, sponsorship. This one is titled The Potent Force of Sponsorship. It's on Amazon. And there is also The Audacious Fates. They are quick reads for those who like to read, and you really enjoy it. Thanks to everybody that have gotten their one. Please get yours from Amazon. So without much ado, I am bringing in Brother Ernest to the building. Good evening, Brother Ernest. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Auntie B. Good evening, Obodo fam.
Let me say massive congratulations again to you. I know I wished you a congratulations before, but I see that the celebration is still ongoing. So congratulations on your 25th wedding anniversary. I must say I'm enjoying your dance step. Oh. You and your wife, you and Sister Gloria did dance, eh? Not be here. Oh.
Thank you. In a celebration mood. Actually, next week Sunday is Thanksgiving, and
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations. 25 years of marital bliss is no joke. We are happy. You are a proof that there are still people who are happy and doing this married thing properly out there. So thank you so much for being such a good role model.
Thank you.
Welcome. I would love to talk about marriage, which is my favorite subject, but let's leave that today. You're here to talk about another thing that you're very passionate. I know you're also very passionate about healthy relationship, marriages, and family life, but you're also very passionate about, sponsorship. And today we are talking about the hidden treasure of life, which is sponsorship. So the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Thank you, Auntie B. And my appreciation for the platform. I don't take it for granted. I need to really appreciate you. Thank you, Obodo fam, for all the kind words. I've gotten some on Instagram wishing me happy, blissful married life. Actually, it doesn't look like 25 years. When you are with someone you love and you are having the best of time, if you'll be with that person for eternity. So
time flies. It's the way you still look at her, your wife, Sister Gloria. I saw that video when you wore the Benin outfit and you were dancing, and the way you look at her, oh my God. It's like you guys are like teenagers who just met. The way you look at her, it sweet my belly. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. For everyone that have died in, my appreciation, and for those who will not be on live, but you have time later to go and listen to what we are going to say today. I will say that today is not about saga. Uh,
Oh my God, I love that. Today
like,
is not about, it's not about depressing stories of
it's
DV.
not, I know like Andy B says, anytime there is saga, hey, somebody impregnated somebody, hey, we all dial in. It's good too, it's part of winding down and relaxing at times. Life cannot be so pressure every time, but this part of life is also very, 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 very crucial, which is what Auntie B is trying to bring up today. Uh, we need to be able to impact ourselves in terms of knowledge.
Yeah.
The level of knowledge you have, as someone says, if you say education is expensive, then you try ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't take it lightly for what we hear. Most times, life are transformed from information. Information is very powerful.
Absolutely.
What you don't know, you can't really mine it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm going to speak on today is what I call sponsorship. I called it one of the most potent weapons for any man living on the surface of earth if you want to succeed in life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I wrote The Potent Force of Sponsorship, that publication took me about 12 days to put down my thoughts. And as the thoughts were coming, I was just writing. There was no research anywhere. It was just as I was getting the illumination, I would just put it down my pen, my paper, and I was writing. And
Mm-hmm.
12 days, the potent force came out. So it was something raw out of what just came into my spirit. And I'm going to build a foundation today before we start. The first is that principles are universal in application.
Hmm.
So when we say principles are universal, which means what I'm going to speak on about today can be tested in terms of space, time,
Mm-hmm.
geography, religion, which means you try this principle in the streets of New York and you replicate it in the streets of Lagos, it's going to work for you.
Absolutely.
That's what principle means. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody tries it somewhere in China and somebody tries it somewhere in Canada, it's going to work. That's what principles are about.
Mm-hmm.
To speak about today is they are not fallacy, they are
Mm-hmm.
they are principles. I have tried it, it has worked for me, and it keeps working for me, even here in Canada. And the only way we can share knowledge is to not be selfish about it, uh, but ability to share what you have. Because most times people think when you share knowledge, you diminish. But the truth is that when you share knowledge, you don't diminish. The more you share your secrets to people, the more you are going to enlarge your coast. But most
Mm-hmm.
Black people, we always tend to think that when we share the secret of our success, we are going to diminish, but
Mm-hmm.
not. And my passion is to show people around what has worked for me. And if they try it and they follow the same precepts, it's going to work for them, which is what it's about. So, first is that the principles, they are universal in nature, they are time tested, and it's a practical experience that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I'm going to say is that uh, life is about relationship. Man operates in a social space called planet Earth. So the way God has built planet Earth is about relationship, which means there are no self-made man anywhere in the world. If you see someone that has succeeded and he tells you that I am I am self-made, run from such a man.
Mm-hmm.
Such a person is a dangerous person and is a disaster waiting to happen.
Hmm.
No self-made man anywhere, which is what sponsorship is about. And I'm going to start with what is this, who is a sponsor or what is sponsorship? Most times, what I saw is that the missing link between mentorship and succeeding in life was sponsorship. Most
Right.
we all dwell so much on mentorship. Mentorship has to do with acquiring education, getting all the right skills, both soft and hard skills, and you are now ready to take on the world. And you get frustrated because you have been equipped with knowledge, you have been equipped with skills, but your success is not relative to the knowledge you've gotten. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is the missing link? Which is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
everybody today. The missing link is sponsorship.
Right.
I'm going to lay that out because of what use is it for you to learn all the skills of life, gain all the knowledge, and you don't have a platform to exhibit that knowledge? What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I know that quite a number of people listening to me today, a greater percentage as Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. So I'm going to be citing examples that we all can relate to. Because most times when we talk, you can't relate to the things people are speaking to. It seems very far. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm talking about Ernest, somebody you can relate to. I'm talking about somebody like you. So it doesn't sound too far. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Story of someone like Alex Iwobi and JJ Okocha. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. This is a nephew of his, a little boy growing up in Aba. And what happened? He had all these skills. Just imagine if Okocha did not pick that boy years ago, brought him to England, and gave him the platform to exhibit his skills. There are a lot of Alex Iwobi that are on the streets of Aba that today nobody is saying. What's the difference between Alex Iwobi that succeeded today and the Alex Iwobis that are in Aba? It's all about platform, which is what we sponsorship. If
Mm-hmm.
someone does not open that door for you, the chances of you succeeding in life is greatly diminished.
Mm-hmm.
That is how the world is wired. Sponsorship, most times, they are the missing puzzle, like I said, in terms of the missing link between you acquiring the skills and acquiring the knowledge. Guess what? Sponsorship is not a philanthropy. Sponsorship is deliberate, it is thought over, it is planned, and it is executed. Most times in the course of life, which is what I'm going to bring those examples as we go ahead, we are
Mm-hmm.
all practicing sponsorship unknowingly. But my ability today is at the end of this talk today, if I'm able to raise that level of consciousness for you to be able to do it deliberately. Well, most times in life, what you do deliberately and consciously, the chances of you succeeding in it is always very high. But when you do things haphazardly and you don't believe in that principle, the chances are that you can't mine success out of it. And guess what? In the place of prayer and principle, guess what? Principle will take preeminence over prayer, which means God is a God of order. God is a God of principle. God says that as long as the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, cold and winter shall not cease. Which means if you don't plant, you don't expect to go and harvest. So the principle of harvesting is that you have to plant. But if you choose to keep praying every day for harvest and you don't till the ground, you don't plant the seed, what are you expecting that God will now break his principle and answer your prayer? The answer is well known to everybody. It's a no. It's a no
So,
no.
incidentally, I'm glad you said that, Brother Ernest, because this was the last show we had here when I was talking about the book of Rev Sam Adeyemi, titled "Success Is You," and we're talking about the things, some of the things I learned from that book. I didn't get to say half of the things I had because there was so much pushback in the comment section, people saying all sorts of things, and it's incidentally you're bringing it up now because we're kind of talking about prayers and how people pray and faith everything without doing the actual work, which
Correct.
is based on principles, just exactly what you are saying now.
Okay.
How people, especially we Nigerians or Africans, are very religious, super religious, just believe all I have to do is pray. So that's what we talked about. And this is exactly what I was saying in that book, that principles over prayers.
Absolutely.
Prayers without principles, zero results.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
man of prestige. Thank you so much. Welcome, Ola. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, she said, powerful message. Love where this is going already. Match me up, please. Put the devil to shame. Thank you. All right, Brian, let's carry on.
So just to continue in the line of thought, what Auntie B just said, life gives to you what you demand out of it. Life is not a pity party. What you demand out of life is what you are going to get. Interestingly, sponsorship is about leveraging. Leveraging means you have a platform, you want to move from step 1 to step 5. So you need steps in between. You don't want to stretch yourself from step 1 to step 5, and you don't have those levels to step on. You are overreaching yourself. So that is what sponsorship is about. And as I go ahead, I'm going to let everybody know that because this is the way the world is wired, God consciously brings sponsors our way, all through school, all through when we are growing. I'm sure some of us will look back to some of the friends we had in school that we wish we had cultivated those relationships. Don't we think so at times? Imagine those who are in the helm of affairs of Nigeria today. They had classmates. Look at how, without sounding immodest, without begrudging the thought process of the current president of Nigeria, what is going on? He's surrounding himself with friends, people he knew way back. That's sponsorship. You may get frustrated at it, or like my worried brother will say, they call it his ojoro or his favoritism. Guess what? Your frustration is not going to change that process. It is the way the world is wired. It is the person that you know that will show you the path to life. So when we arrive at our destination in life and we are looking for people to support us, what do? We look back to relationship we built, people we are comfortable with. That is the world is wired. So the question is, are you consciously building relationship? Because by the time you acquire all the skills, you acquire all the knowledge, soft skills, you need a platform to exhibit yourself. It's just like an interview. You submit your resume. They receive over 1,000 resume for a position. But no matter how good you are, if you are not giving that push and you are shortlisted, you are called for interview, you can never exhibit what you know. So the world is wired. So instead of us to get frustrated, to think some people are favored more than others, is for us to key into this principle and ask ourselves, how do I mine this principle? Because the way the world is wired. And I'm going to build it even from the medieval times when Christ came himself to earth. So we all need leveraging. Don't go the journey of life without this principle. The pains, the headache is absolutely not worth it. God deliberately brings potential sponsors our path in the journey of life. But if we are not sensitive, chances are that we are going to miss it. We must relationship. They are the bridges to life's successes. Someone has to clear the path for you. That's what sponsors do. And guess what? Sponsors at times they are not likable. Someone that could open the door for you in life will not be a likable person. In fact, sponsors could be very arrogant. Guess what? What you need, they have it. So the question is, are you humble enough, to go down and set your eyes on the ball? This is what I need from man of prestige. I do not care that man of prestige is an arrogant person, but the question is there something I need from him? Am I able to come down to his level and get what I need from him? So most times we get disoriented with the personalities of the person that want to help us in life. We think that they should like us. And I'm going to use the first classical example, which is Jesus Christ and John the Baptist. If you go through the potent force, you're going to see a lot of illustrations I use to establish this principle. And I'm just going to pick a few. First is Jesus and John the Baptist, to demonstrate that God believes in this principle because it is how the world is wired. The earth is based on relationship and interdependence. God had to send John the Baptist 6 months ahead of time to create the path for Jesus Christ. Just imagine if Jesus Christ had just evolved. How will he have tell his own story?
Mm-hmm.
It would be very difficult. But somebody needed to have come to clear that path for him. And 6 months ahead, John the Baptist was he was a forerunner. He's someone I would call the first potent sponsor of all ages. And he
Mm-hmm.
sponsored Jesus Christ. What did he do? We are told that John was so known in Israel. People believed in him, and they actually said he was a true man of God.
Mm-hmm.
He kept telling everybody that there's somebody coming. He's bigger than me. Even his shoe, his lace, I cannot untie. He
Mm-hmm.
baptize you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Ghost and power and fire. He kept talking about Jesus. He kept talking about him. And
Mm-hmm.
by the time Christ appeared on the scene, he made it very easy for him. That is what sponsors do. They speak for you. We have them in our offices, in our organization. Most times
Mm-hmm.
in the ranking session in your office, when promotions are being decided, you are not even there. A careless statement by someone can determine whether that promotion or not. So we need to be very careful in terms of how we relate with people. How do we build relationships? Are we careless about life? Because I've seen people with fantastic resume, with brilliant careers that had their careers cut short because they lack relationship. Because somebody somewhere became a sponsor for them in a negative way. So
Mm-hmm.
a negative comment about you in a meeting, it just determines if you are going to get that promotion or not.
Yeah.
So the question of whether you are competent becomes the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Just one careless statement. Oh, Auntie B, sorry for using you. Auntie B, we don't like her energy. She has negative energy, bad attitude. And that just colored the whole situation. And what you are giving is lost.
That opportunity is
It's
gone.
gone. There's no prayer. You are going to say that, going to change that process. But because you have not consciously built
Mm-hmm.
that process,
Mm-hmm.
that was what John did for Christ. And just imagine John the Baptist. He had the potential to demarket Christ. Do you know the way John was so popular? Uh, these days, there was no social media then. Just,
Yeah.
just imagine.
It was
If,
a word of mouth, social media.
yeah,
It was literally campaigning. And incidentally, somebody said that most of the biggest deals in the business world that are made these days, and they are not made in the boardroom. They literally come to the boardroom to sign the papers. They are
absolutely,
made in golf courses. They are made in dinner parties. They are made in social gathering.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So just imagine when Christ appeared and John tells everybody, this is not the person we are waiting for.
Mhm.
He's a false prophet. He will have aborted the mission of God on earth with Jesus Christ. Which is why, if you read the Bible, it tells you that of all men born of woman, that no one is as great as John the Baptist. Because this
Mhm.
was selflessness at the highest peak.
Mhm.
Had a
Mhm.
flourishing ministry, everything
Mhm.
was going well for him, and he just rolled off his sleeves and said, this man should take over the mantle. He's the guy we are waiting for. You don't see it
And
today.
yeah, and he understand the limitation of his ministry, where it begins and where it stops, and the person that is taking it forward. So somebody here is saying, Chidima is saying, so there are negative and positive sponsorship. So
Absolutely.
I'm thinking you might have a negative sponsor, but you don't know. But
You don't,
because of that relationship that was not cultivated, and things you may have done that somebody who could have potentially be a positive sponsor for you picked up that energy, they picked up that thing you said. So incidentally, of course, they're not going to come back and tell you it's because of me you didn't get that promotion. But they are sponsoring you, whether you like it or not. And it's negative because of poor relationship and things people say. And that's why even today, people are if you're a professional, you got to be careful on social media because organizations are checking what you are putting out there, and they pick up something, a tweet you sent 10 years ago, they can use it against you, and you're gone. Yeah, just wanted to throw that in. Carry on, sir.
Okay. So that is what life is all about. I'm going to cite a very classical example. I mean, earlier in my career, and that will take me to establishing that sponsors can come even in small forms. So
Mm-hmm.
that we our mind is not tuned in the one direction. That, oh, the sponsor for me most times could be the MD of my company. Oh, the sponsor for me could be somebody that's a minister. No,
Mm-hmm.
a sponsor for you could just be the driver of your boss.
Yes, absolutely.
So you need to be sensitive, and you need to be open and be able to know when opportunities come and you're not using the right words. And I'm going to use this as a practical illustration. I mean, years ago, while working in Abuja, I remember going for a meeting with a colleague of mine. We had a meeting with my MD and the MD of what you call PHCN on NEPA those days in the early 2003, 2004. And we got to the gate. The gate man that was to open for us to give us access to the MD's office asked to have our names documented. And from nowhere, a colleague of mine, just made a careless statement about the gate man, more or less talking down on the guy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that why is he delaying us? We already have access to the MD. That we don't need these checks. And you guess what happened? The gate man was so angry, and he told everybody with my MD in the vehicle that if that guy doesn't step down, we are not going in for the meeting.
Hmm.
He made the guy to deboard, and he couldn't attend that meeting with us. And the guy stayed at the gate until we finished the meeting.
Because at that gate, the gate man is the MD of that gate. And without him, you can't have access to the real MD of the company. So
Absolutely,
that's why you have to respect people in their offices. But we
absolutely,
get that a lot of times in Nigeria, people looking down. Oh, he's a cleaner, they are gatesmen, they are this, they are this person. You don't know. Anybody can be somebody that will open the door for you. These people know things. They know things. So
absolutely.
that's a really good example. Yeah.
So just for us to be able to open up our minds so that we don't start thinking that people who are our potential sponsors in life, there will be people that are in high positions. No. And I'm going to use another classical illustration I used in A Potent Force, which is the story of Naaman and what you call the domestic maid. This was somebody, great guy, a general in the Syrian army. He's gone everywhere trying to see how he can get cure for his leprosy. And what happened? He got nothing. He took the maid in the home to speak to the wife. I could imagine how that maid would have presented the story to the madam of the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just imagine the scenario, how she presented the story to the madam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she would have been scared passing the message.
Mm-hmm.
So the question we'll ask ourselves is, why was she so concerned that the boss or the bosses, let's take that it was the madam that was her boss, Oga had leprosy. Why was she so concerned?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a take home for us. If Nema the general was unkind to her, are you sure she would have been concerned?
Hmm. Good
So
question.
it
Because
tells
in some cases, even it could be the wife of the Oga that is your sponsor.
absolutely.
Yeah. Because women, especially at home, have incredible power.
Ab-
And for instance, if it's you're looking for a contract and many proposals that are submitted, it could just be the madam of the person that is authorizing that proposal that is your sponsor. Just
abs-
a word, just a whisper on the man's ear is enough to say, you know what? Okay, this is the person that will get it. So it doesn't mean because she doesn't go with him to the office, she knows what's
yes,
going on.
yeah. So this was a nobody, a maid in the home. she was able to appeal to the madam, there's a solution somewhere in Israel. If you can
Mm-hmm.
convince Oga to go there, healing will take place. And if you read that story, if you will see the process, the way Naaman went to Israel with all his paraphernalia of office, with all the arrogance, you could see everything was displayed that he almost did not want to obey the instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you that that lady, that maid, was a nobody, but she became the part to cure that man what was his biggest challenge in life, what money could not give him.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we relate to people that come our path? Those people we think potentially can help us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The maid in your house today could be a potential governor's wife 10 years from now. If we
Yep.
don't begin to think long term, we are going to hurt ourselves 5 years, 10 years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So my admonition for everybody today listening to me, that you must think long term. You must be sensitive. You must ask God to give you that sensitivity and that saneness of mind, that people that come across your path in life, they are bridges for you to
Hmm.
get your tomorrow. Don't be
Wow.
careless about your today. If you are careless
Mm-hmm.
about your today, it's going to impact your tomorrow.
Fantastic. I like this comment. Real life with Nato. Hello, darling. She said, Auntie B, it was a messenger that helped me to get my scholarship
To the UK.
to the UK and US back in the 80s, just because my dad greets them every time he comes to the scholarship board and just gist with them and buy bread for them. So when the thing was on, they just whisper to the dad because these people know things. That's why those who live in Nigeria, we tend to have this attitude in Nigeria where people who think they are big look down on the small man, but they will soon learn exactly what you are teaching now, Brian, is about the power of sponsorship. And a sponsor doesn't necessarily has it doesn't need to be somebody that is big there, somebody that is powerful. It can be anybody, just like the example you just gave us about the Naaman and a maid.
Yes.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's
Yeah.
really, really powerful. Why is it that we don't take advantage of this, or why don't they speak so much about it though? Because we hear about mentorship, 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 but you said that sponsorship is the gap between mentorship and actually actualizing your goals or your dreams, because you need a sponsor to give you a platform.
Absolutely. I think the missing link, which is part of one of my most popular quotes in the Potent Force, is that do not surround yourself with people who will not celebrate you.
Hmm.
People who don't celebrate you will never open doors for you.
Hmm.
And guess what, Auntie B? People
Sir.
who people who celebrate you, most times you did nothing for them. And I'm going to give you the classical example of John the Baptist. If you read the illustration of John the Baptist, why was he able to selflessly open that door for Jesus Christ? If you remember when Mary visited Elizabeth, we are told that John was about 6 months old in the mother's womb. What did the Bible say? Say John leaped up in joy. So even when John was seen in his mother's womb, he was already celebrating Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
They were not born yet. He was already excited.
Hmm.
People who celebrate you, those are the people you should put around yourself.
Hmm.
You don't need to do something extra for people to celebrate you. People will love you for who you are,
Yeah.
regardless of your shortcomings. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of being frustrated and trying to make sure that people who don't love you, you want to make them love you, look for those who can stand your faults. Look for those who can make do with your frailties and still celebrate you. Those are the people that open doors for you in the course of life.
Hmm.
So the reason most times why back to the question the Auntie B you asked is why people don't really mind this principle is that one, we think that we can go this journey on our own. We think that once we have the right skills, the right knowledge, we are equipped, we have the education, our chances of succeeding in life is very high. It's not true. It's the favor of God that opens door, which is why professors are not the richest people on earth. In fact, most times the richest men living on planet Earth today, most of them didn't even go to school, or they halfway in school they dropped out, or
Mhm.
came out with a third class. That is how the world is wired. It's about who gave them that open door, who gave them that break, who gave them that. So
Mhm.
most we also get frustrated when we see people succeeding with this principle. Instead of us to ask ourselves, what is going on? Instead,
Mhm.
we get frustrated. We go into a blame game. We call
We
this,
get jealous.
we get jealous. We say it's favoritism. We say it's
Mm.
ujoro, all kinds of things. So we keep on that blame game, and that is why
Mhm.
people are not really minding this principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the passion of, of John and Christ. And I'm going to give a living example that we all know. You must be able to take yourself to a level where your potential sponsor, when is asked, there's an opening here. Can you give me 3 names of someone of you can recommend for this job? And the person can go there and say, Auntie B is my choice one, Auntie B is my choice two, Auntie B is my choice three. That is the level
Hmm.
you of strive to with our sponsor. And I'm going to use the last vice president of Nigeria as a classical example, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo.
Mhm.
He's a Christian, a pastor, who was his sponsor, the current president of Nigeria.
Hmm.
But the opportunity came where the Muslim ticket could not work in 2015. The account we are told is that the then president asked him, get me somebody. This slot is,
Mhm.
but based on political exigencies of this time, we can't do a Muslim ticket. And
Mhm.
we are told that Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, even though the current president was asked to bring 3 names, he brought his name as choice one, choice two, and choice three.
Hmm.
That is the power of sponsorship. They don't belong to the same religion. So what gave him that level of comfort that an opportunity came for a vice presidential slot and he said he was going to pick a Yemi Oshibanjo.
Hmm.
So the question is back to us. Have we built enough relationships in life that we think we can mine from?
Hmm.
When opportunities come, are we sure the people we pass in the course of life will recommend us without fear? Because most times people are also scared that if they opened up for you, chances are that you may diminish them. So, how do you come across to people? Are you positive? Is there humility in you? Today, we hear of the story of Barack Obama. But go back to the story of Barack Obama. His breakthrough came up at a Democratic convention where someone gave him that platform to give that famous speech, which he gave.
Hmm.
And when he finished that 90-minute speech, the heavens opened for him and they said, wow, who is this guy? Where did he come out from? And his success just started building up from there. He became a senator. He did is rare according to the if you read the history of American presidents. In fact, when he came in, I remember the former president Bill Clinton called it, he says a fairy tale. That's how the story of Obama came, that he's going to blow away. These things
Hmm.
can happen. You know, they call him a junior senator because it was his first term as a senator. In fact, if I have read quite a lot of Barack Obama's book, he said even his wife told him, Barack, are you okay?
The dream was too big. It
Yeah,
was the kind of dream that
are
is
you
difficult. You black man, how dare you want this dream? The dream is so big. The other day I was saying to someone, I said, you know, when Joseph had a dream, because as much as we are talking about, success, we talk about, sponsorship, mentorship, giving people platform, cultivating relationships. Sadly, it's not everybody that wants or that will ever understand your dream. And people who don't have the capacity, to dream big. When you tell them your dream, they can just want they want to frustrate it. How dare you dream that big? What kind of dream is that? You, black man, wants to be president in this
Yes,
country. But thing that keep occurring to me is that in the story in the Bible, when Joseph had that dream, God showed him the dream, but he didn't show the dream to his parents or his siblings. So
absolutely.
as much as they could not get behind the dream or they could not believe that it is possible, he knew exactly what he saw. And he know what God had told him in that dream. And so he was not afraid of the dream. But when we expect people to just believe in our dream and accept it and help us, or no, a lot of people will frustrate your dream. They'll be like, I beg, go sit down.
Absolutely.
What are you talking about? Your dream will practically scare some people because they don't have the capacity. A lot of people are afraid.
Yeah,
They can't dream that big. It's too big. It's too scary for them. The last show we had here when we're talking about success, Oju Mirito, Brianess, I can't lie to you. Some people literally came out and said, you can't force us to be millionaires. We don't want to be millionaires. Somebody said, I would rather die wretched than be a millionaire so that they will not come and delete me. So it's not everybody that has the capacity to, even think above, let me just have my next square me, let me just be okay in this level. And that's all right. That's fine. But if you're all right on that level, when other people want to be higher and they want to dream, please don't frustrate their dream.
yes,
Don't.
yes, absolutely. Uh, which is part of, I mean, the dream you just said now. I mean, can you imagine Barack? He, the closest person to him should be Michelle, the wife, and
Yeah.
she did not believe in the dream.
Yeah.
But Barack, when I was reading Barack's book, Barack was so frustrated that he had to go and look for close family friends,
Mm-hmm.
a pastor, people around to come and help talk to the wife. But the wife said, "It's a no, no. You are
She was,
just on your first term as a senator. How? How can you be the president of America? It's not possible."
yes.
So this dream, this belief was only in Barack's head.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the rest is history today.
It is history. It is history. And it goes to show that it is possible. It is possible. He proved it. 8 years he was president. So what are we talking about?
Abs- abs-
Okay.
absolutely. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll try and wrap up in another 5 minutes so that we can give room for. I want
Questions?
to hear people ask questions. Let's be practical as much as possible because, like I
Yes.
said, this is what I have used that has worked for me. It has worked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me and you most times we talk offline. I mean, I'm basically about 2 years in this country. I came in here and I went back to school. I did the scanning of the environment. What can I do? What are the opportunities here? And I zeroed in on something. I said, okay, let me go back to school, do a little tweak in my career, and I went back to school. And to be
Upscale yourself. Get
yes,
more skills.
yes, and to be right from the school, God brought a sponsor my way again
Amen.
because I consciously believe in this principle. And who was this sponsor? A lecturer in my class. He happens to be a Ghanaian who migrated to Canada. And interestingly, he said his junior brother bears my name. So, and we got talking. He took a liking to me, and I just opened up to him. Now, I applied myself, did the best I could in class, which is what is expected of me. But there's a place where a sponsor comes in. So what happened when opportunities came in school? I'm always the first person the guy is going to open the door to. because I was able to build that relationship with him. And he had students well over 100. But he took a liking to me because I was able to see beyond him, just as my lecturer. In fact, I wanted him to be one of my reference in Canada. So I went beyond schoolwork to build a personal relationship with him.
Background, that is the thing. It's about the cultivating that relationship.
Yes. If I one of these days I had lunch with him somewhere in town and he told me, Ernest, you are one of the first students I meet one-on-one. I don't do such. But I don't know why I'm doing it for you. We had lunch somewhere in town and we built that relationship. And I can tell you that is what has taken me to where I am today. And to be, you are aware of what happened.
Yes, so congratulations are in order. Oh, Brian, you make me so proud. As an Edo man to an Edo woman, you make me really proud, bro. You make me proud.
And to be,
Wow.
it's going to blow your mind what happened. And everybody that is listening to me here, I mean, I finished my schoolwork, and part of the program is you must do a compulsory 8 weeks internship. And now is the responsibility of the school to send you somewhere for the internship. So it's not your issue. Now, the first place they sent me to for the internship, I went there. Guess what? Auntie B, I was rejected. Why was I rejected? Not that I was not good. In fact, when I had an interview with the president of the group, the guy told me that for my resume, what he has seen about me, that he doesn't think I have anything to learn from his company. I should be teaching them.
You are overqualified.
Sorry, Auntie B. And that he was going to hire me instead of having me to do internship. I said, okay, that's fine. So I went for the second level of interview with him. Guess what, Auntie B? After 2 weeks of that process, they sent me an email that they have picked someone else, that they were not going to take me. And to make it very funny, Auntie B, they picked another student from my school to come and do internship in that organization. So I was asking myself, I said, I came for internship. You didn't take me for internship. You said we were going to hire me. You didn't hire me, and you took someone else. Well, Auntie B, looking back today, weeks after, I'm glad at that process that I was not accepted at that internship. So I reported back to the school, told them I had a rejection, and the school said they're going to get me somewhere else. So I waited. A week after, I got an email that an organization want to have me go through an interview for the internship position. And to be this industry I am now, it's a regulated industry, it's the defense industry. It's not somewhere that is open to everybody. More talk less of someone like me right now, not a citizen yet. I just came in. So there are levels of restrictions they will not allow people who just came in here for. So I went in. The interview process for the internship and was so rigorous. I had 5 people drill me on this interview for an internship position.
Wow.
I had the director of the company, 2 directors were on the call, the HRO general manager, there are 2 other managers, 5 of them. In fact, when they finished drilling me for 45 minutes, my wife said, what's going on? Is it no internship?
Just ordinary internship. But internship is not ordinary because of the industry.
Yes. Auntie B, that's how I went in. 2 days after, I was told that they have accepted me, I should come for my internships. Auntie B, I went there. Sponsorship played out again. God brought to my path for me to work with the most senior director in the company, who reports only to the president of the group.
Wow.
Favor. A white man. He took a liking for me. It's as if we have known for 10 years. He gave me the space to operate. I put it all my best in those 8 weeks. Guess what, Auntie B? I had my exit meeting with him on the 29th of September, which was my last day. He signed off all my documentations, told me, see you tomorrow. Friday was to be my last day. We met on Thursday, the 28th. I went home on that Thursday, 28th. And to be when I arrived my office on the 29th in the morning, I opened my door, got to my desk, and I saw a big envelope right on my table. I saw my name written on it, private and confidential, to be opened by the addressee only. I pop it open and I saw an email from my boss he had sent at 10:45 p.m. that night. And he said, I'm sure you have seen the envelope on your table. Open it up. And when I opened it up, Auntie B, it was a package of an employment.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. You proven yourself
Auntie
in
B,
8 weeks.
I didn't
Hmm.
have to weep whether to cry. Guess what, Auntie B? This position they gave me, they had advertised for this role before I arrived the company.
Hmm.
They had
Hmm.
shortlisted people. In fact, the director told me that they had shortlisted over 100 persons for that role. But when I arrived the scene, they aborted that process and waited for me for 8 days.
Amen. Amen. Protocols are moving around in your favor because you did the work. You applied the principle and you didn't just stay at home praying
Yeah.
and wishing. Hmm.
So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Massive congratulations. God is good.
And he said if the package is okay, sign. And I resumed work the following Monday, October 2nd.
Hmm. So there was no period of even looking for job.
No period. I finished my internship on Friday 29th. I resumed work October 2nd, Monday.
Wow. Wow.
How can you
That
be
is
how can you be sleeping on your bed and God prepare the employment letter on the table for you in the morning when you arrive
incredible. Incredible. Hmm.
in this country of
Yeah.
Canada?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's diligence. Somebody is talking about diligence. I like the fact that, you didn't just get to Canada and you say, at my age, where am I going to start from? At my age, how can I be going to school now? Oh, after having this kind of high scale job in Nigeria. Oh, my mate, oh, when I should be planning towards retirement, you were not mourning everything that's happened in
Yeah.
Nigeria. You took it on board that okay, it's a new environment. You looked around you. What can I do? How can I advance myself? This is what we're talking about. You didn't just say, you know what? Let me just go and take and be doing this. Shebi is just for us to pay bills. Me and my wife will work, whatever job that we. It's always good to dream. Reverend Sam said, "Your reality, the reality." He said something. He said, "Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice." When I first heard it, I was like, "What's he talking about?" And he said, "It's first created in your mind before it is created in real time, in reality." Everything is created twice. So you didn't just come to Canada, oh, I've had this good job. Because people who have very good jobs in Nigeria tend to fall into that trap and say, I can't go back to school at my age. Where am I going to start from? Let me just use this money and buy a car. Maybe if it's Uber, I'll be doing, or I'll just do one of these jobs. Maybe we have somewhere to sleep and wake up. But you were still driven. You put yourself back to school, and I'm sure it wasn't easy going back to school after such a long time. But you were not looking at excuses. All you were thinking about is opportunities. And look at what God has done. When efforts meets, aspirations and dreams. So, I mean, congratulations to you. Under 3 years in Canada, having such a wonderful job. Wow. It's not just sponsorship, it's also the application of these principles that we're talking about, in the last show. But I have a question before I have Timothy. If you want to ask Brian as a question, either come into the studio or quickly pop it in the comment section because we have only 30 minutes for questions. What I want to ask is how do you get, I know we talked about relationship and applying relationship in developing sponsorship. How do you get sponsors, or how do you start, where do you start from building this relationship? Is it just befriending people, getting to know people, being nice, being kind to people in your workplace, or all across your life? How do you get sponsors?
Okay. Auntie B, my response to you will be there's actually no definite place you go and pick sponsors. God has designed this space called planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
God knows that it is built based on relationships. So as you just journey in life, potential sponsors are coming your way every day.
Mm-hmm.
So treat every person that comes to your path as a potential sponsor. Have an open mind. Don't build layers.
That's an answer for you. My love for you is real. The question you asked now, he just literally answered it.
Yes.
Because her question was, how do you recognize sponsors?
They don't have horns on their head.
They don't have signboard.
Like I said, it could just be, like Auntie B said, it could just be the gate man. Just have an open mind. Prepare yourself, because opportunities will come. But you need to prepare yourself so that you can hit the ground running. Because it is also not good when you are given the platform and you don't perform. Because we have
Mm-hmm.
situations where people are given platform, they are sponsored and they don't perform. And
Yeah.
what happens is that you lose that platform. So your role, what you should bother yourself with is prepare yourself.
Hmm.
Have in mind, God will bring sponsors your way. It is how the world is wired. Don't be in regrets. The last thing you want to not to have is, oh, wow, Auntie B was my classmate. I wish we were friends. Today, she's the wife of the British Prime Minister. Because most times, people you can easily call are people you have built relationship with
Relationship with in
for
the
their
past,
relation.
before they even got to the position that they are in.
Yes. I have friends today. We went to school together in Nigeria far back 20 years ago that are MDs of conglomerates in Nigeria. No matter how busy they are, if I call them, they will pop up a text. Ernest, I'll get back to you. They will return because we have built relationship. They can
Hmm.
be too busy or too big to say they can't pick my call. But there are other classmates that schooled with us that will probably make that call. They will not pick that call.
Mm-hmm. Or they don't even have their number anymore. It's all about relationship, guys.
Not about
It's
relation.
about relationships, all quality relationships. So if you're a mean person, you cannot cultivate good relationships. You cannot. It's not possible. If you are a very, very, some people are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for now? They are very critical. They will criticize everything and everything. They're always criticizing. You criticize people so much. It's negative people that do that. They always have something to criticize. What is she wearing? What is he wearing? Look at the wig. Look at this. Look at that. You don't know the role that person is going to play. So I think somebody is saying, how do you cultivate or be accepted by a sponsor? I think
Okay,
you literally just answered it, didn't you?
I can just add to that for D to listen. If this will open up her mind too. The way to cultivate to be acceptable by a sponsor is you must be your best at every opportunity you are given in life. And I'm going to use myself as a classical illustration. When I got working after my NYC for a multinational, I mean, those who have read my book will know the company I'm talking about. Uh, One of the biggest American companies in the oil and gas industry. I got hired as a contract staff, give you 1 year contract. And TP, guess what I was doing? I was a protocol officer. All I did was go to the airport, get my MD, have them go for their meetings in NMPC with the minister, just ensure that things go well. And TB, I I did this job so well. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anybody that come across my friends, they will tell you that that's Ernest. Every task you give me, if you ask me to sweep now, TB, I will sweep so well that you won't find anything.
So excellence is important.
This is important. I
Mm-hmm.
job so well, Auntie B, as a protocol boy, that
Mm-hmm.
2 years down the line, when the MD of the company, an American, was to leave the country, the guy was the person who hired me. He
Hmm.
called the HR director and said, I'm leaving Nigeria. one of the assignments I must complete is that there's a young boy in Abuja. His name is Ernest. Get his paper ready. I'm going to hire him. I was given expedited employment.
Because you stood out, because you were even though it's not your desired or your preferred position. And this goes to show people who think, oh, until I'm Oga, before I will be excellent in whatever. So what he's saying, what Brother Ernest is saying basically is that whatever position you hold in an organization, stand out. Mediocrity is so common among Black people. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry to say this. It's so common. When anybody is not looking, we will not do anything except somebody is looking. People come late, they leave anytime, no accountability. You bring all those poor work practices that we have in Nigeria in the civil service, you bring it abroad.
Yeah.
Do you believe that, Uncle Ernest, let me give you this example, that people who come here to do care job, actually, in the UK here, I've seen it. Carers that care for the elderly in their homes, they call them dumb carers, domiciliary carers. Some people working with these are vulnerable elders who live in their home. Your job is to go there, take care of them, make sure they have their medication, their meals, do personal care and things like that. Do you know some of our people will not go?
Okay.
They will not go. If they can get away with it, they will not go. So we are talking about excellence.
Excellence. Yeah.
Just because there's nobody watching you. Some families have planted cameras, and if you see the report, what they are reporting that people are doing, they won't show up. They don't care about the people that they are caring for. They do the job haphazardly. They don't. There's no sense of any kind of responsibility. It's all about the money they are going to get. And when there's nobody watching, unfortunately, when there's nobody watching, they don't do it. They won't do the job.
Yeah.
And they get into trouble. But do you know, according to this story you just told us now, sometimes the family of those people that you are caring for can even be your sponsors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to be just to add to what you said, what I want everybody to play their mind on, just imagine the person who is driving President Tinubu right now. He's a driver, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So ask yourself, who has more time with the president, the driver, or maybe a minister?
Or even his wife.
Good.
That's a really, really good angle. He
So
spends
that,
more time with him because anywhere he's going by road is the driver that will take him.
yes,
And the presidents are always moving.
good. Just imagine the conversation between the president driver and the president. That guy is a deadly sponsor any day, anytime. You look down on that driver at your peril. So that's the mindset we must all have, that sponsors can come in small form, but in very deadly forms.
Right. So what I'm picking up from what you are saying in terms of the questions that people are asking about how do I identify potential sponsors? How do I make relationship? How do I cultivate relationship? Just being a decent human being who is diligent in their work
Absolutely.
is enough. Is enough. Be friendly. Be friendly. Don't do it because don't. Some people, they will never spend 5 minutes extra in their work if they are paid per hour. Once it's 5 o'clock, they clock in, you won't see them 5 minutes after they're out. So imagine somebody like that in an organization like that. And you know, these people, they watch, they observe. Somebody that clocks up, they are checking the time. Once it's 2 minutes to 5 minutes to closing time, they're already tidying up and ready to move out. And somebody who they don't mind when they have pressing work, even though they are not being paid, they will stay behind. You think they are not being seen?
And to be, let me just buttress what you said now with my experience, 8 weeks of internship where I'm currently working now. In fact, because it's my natural, it's my, what I call it is my default mode. My default mode to life is that I give life my best shot, which is what I tell everybody. And he applied again where I was doing my internship. In fact, guess what, Auntie B? This 8 weeks internship was not paid. So it's not a paid internship. So I had to put gas in my car. It takes me 15, 18 minutes drive from my home to my office. I did that for 8 weeks, no pay. So there was no incentive. It was a non-paid internship. I did it so well that my son got upset with me. He said, what is your own? Is it not internship? Are they paying?
But you know something that he doesn't know.
Yeah, so I just mind, I just mind, and part of the things I'm also, they are seeing me. I'm the Bible they are reading every day.
Absolutely.
To know that life gives to you what you give to life. I treated the place as, it's 8 weeks.
After all, they are not paying me.
Even paying me,
And every day you be calling in. You take time off. You call in sick. You come in late. You have a general late. This kind of lackadaisic attitude. After all, they are not paying me.
Yes.
You will not have gotten. They will not have even noticed you. See how God. You see, God has a part to play in our life, but we human beings also have a part to play.
Absolutely.
Our attitude towards diligence and excellence in our work as Africans, as Black people, needs work. We need to work on ourselves.
Absolutely. In fact, in that conversation, my son told me, what if they don't hire you with all this your effort? And I said, that is secondary. My part right now is putting my best. What I can't do, I leave it to God. That's how I approach life. So we must not be negative to life. We pull back. We don't want to give our best because we are not sure of the reward that will come. Just what you are supposed to do. There's a God somewhere that rewards. He will reward. So that's my admonition for everybody.
And now your son has seen that, the diligence that you put into that job, the way you took it like, your life depended on it, even though it was unpaid. Now he now understands. It paid off. You got the job now. So no wonder you said they are the Bible you read. This is pure leadership. You are just teaching them effortlessly about life principles. That's so profound. Thank you so much, Brother Ernest. I'm going to take this question that I come to Temiti. Temiti is waiting to speak. She's the only one that's come into the studio. If you've got a question, you want to add something that you think has helped you as a sponsor or somebody that benefited from sponsorship, jump in the studio. The link is in the comment section. Is anybody liking? I don't think people are liking. They don't usually like this kind of shows. Because we are not talking about somebody that has been deleted. Only less than 200 likes. Guys, please give us a thumbs up. Yeah, Blessing said, please, sir, advise me. I'm an introvert and I'm usually scared of starting conversations with people that I don't know. So somebody that is introverted, for instance, because it's not everybody that is easy to form friendship or relationship. It comes natural to people like us. People who are extroverted, you talk, you are very comfortable in social setting or any kind of setting, and you are just, we can easily find someone like me. I can befriend anybody. But some people are naturally not that, they are introverts and they get scared, they have social anxieties and things like that. How would somebody like Blessing go about that, forming friendship or building relationships?
What I would say is that, I quite understand what she's saying. Once you are withdrawn, chances are that it's difficult for you to build a relationship. Such people take their time. They want to be sure they are in their comfort zone before they can open up. What I will say, while you are in that your comfort zone, that your cocoon, just like the story of Naaman and the housemaid, just imagine what would have happened when Naaman returned back. The position of that girl, will she still be a maid in that home?
No. Elevate should be elevated.
So while you are in that your cocoon, still be your best. At times, it's like the story of David. David was somewhere taking care of his father's sheep, his father's flock. It was not in the open like his brothers who were serving in the military. But you see the diligence in what David was doing. A lion came to take one of the sheep. He fought the lion.
Yeah.
A deer came. He fought the deer. David could could have walked away. Ask yourself, why would he put his life on the line for a mere animal he was taking care of? So he, right where he was walking in the bush, he was being diligent. Nobody was seeing him, but God was seeing him there, and God saw the potential in him. So there
Yeah.
are situations where you may not openly expose yourself because you don't have that platform to say, hey, I'm here, I'm good. But where you are, as you put in your best, somebody will find you out.
Okay. That's a really, really good answer. I like that. Temiti says she's got something to say about Blessing because Blessing say that she has social anxiety. So welcome, Temiti, darling. How are you?
Hello, Auntie B. Good
Thanks for your
evening.
patience. How
Yeah,
are you, darling?
oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I've really been enjoying everything. Hello, Miss Ernest Omojo. Good
Hi,
evening, sir.
good evening. Hi.
Thank you so much for all what you've been dishing to us. Just lovely nuggets. I've just been taking notes and all of that. Thank you so much. And then before I go ahead, I just wanted to congratulate you, on all your endeavors and how
Thank you.
God has been crowning all your efforts, with good success. Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to piggyback on a few things that you did talk about. Yeah, about especially about your book. It's really a nice one. I'll get one. I'll get a
It's on
copy.
Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a copy tonight. So thanks for that. So
Get more
yes,
than one so you can give some out.
all
Temiti.
right. Okay,
Get
sis, I'll
more
do
than
that.
one.
Okay. All right. So probably I can post this a few of my friends on here, right?
Yes, that's the spirit.
Yeah. So this Mr. Ennis, this really hit home for me. I work as a GP here in England, right?
Okay.
And yeah, so I really understood where you were coming from with having to give all being diligent and all of that, which I've done a lot of times. And sometimes I even use my private time to really get my all my patients done, do all my admin tasks and all of that, just to give the best you can give. And sometimes, because of the constraints of ethics in my profession, um sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes I don't know, maybe if we are doing too much, because you did talk about identifying a sponsor, which could be anybody, but sometimes when we're trying to build that relationship, which we, of course, I'm a very friendly person, but sometimes you want to go a bit further, and then you're not too sure of when to strike the balance. When is it almost as though you're doing too much, just like when you talked about you having like an outing with your friend or someone, the
Yes.
person that you talked about, your sponsor. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm just thinking, like, as a female, right, how do we strike that balance and then we don't come off as unprofessional? Thank you.
Uh, okay. Absolutely. I get what you mean. Auntie, you want me to go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. So that's Timothy, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
boss.
Okay. Timothy, I'm going to use what I call, you see it in the book, what I call two types of growth in life and why people get frustrated about life. There's what you call horizontal growth, there's what you call vertical growth. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. The vertical growth is what we see. You move from one salary group to the other, you have instant gratification, money comes in. Uh, you have promotion from one level of job to the other. So vertical growth is visible to everybody. Oh, she was formerly an advisor, she's now a GM. She was a GM, she's now an MD. Everybody sees it. Guess what? That is what we all love.
Mm-hmm.
When that is happening, people think that I am growing. Now, what I have discovered in the course of life, that the most effective growth is what we call horizontal growth.
Mm-hmm.
It is not seen, but you are building capacity. And it is capacity that takes you to the next level.
Mm.
When you are at your horizontal growth period, people don't see you. Don't worry about the, the fancifulness, the breakthroughs people are saying. Horizontal growth is always very painful. I went through that part in my life, in my career, working. In fact, My GM saw me as a resource. In fact, one of my biggest strengths in life is I don't believe in impossibilities.
Hmm.
In fact, when things are impossible, my boss then says, take it to Ernest. People will come to him and give him 10 reasons why a problem cannot be solved. But when it comes to Ernest, I'll give him 3 reasons why it can be solved. I get creative. When I see problems, I see it as challenge. In fact, when I see problem, becomes an energy for me, becomes a catalyst. So I was the go-through for my GM. But guess what? I wasn't even a manager. So all the jobs were being dumped on me, but I was not getting what you call the vertical growth, salary movement. I wasn't a manager. I was on the mid-level of my career. But guess what happened, Timothy? 3 years down the line, an opportunity came out for me to handle a project out of our corporate headquarters in the US. Because I had built capacity, my GM recommended me for that role. I was running a budget of $4 million. Guess what? The department budget was $5 million that my boss was handling as the GM. But I was running a project of $4 million and I wasn't a manager. I didn't have that title called manager. So the question we ask ourselves most times is, do we want the fanfare or do we want to build capacity for tomorrow?
Hmm.
Most times we all run to what people easily see: salary increase, title change, what people can see that gives us that joy. But are we really building our capacity? Because you got to a point in a company where I didn't have the title of a manager, but I was like a super GM. In fact, my GM told me one of those days, he said, do you know that the budget you are handling is even bigger than my own, and I'm your GM? So that is the level that we all must strive to be. And Timothy, can I shock you? When I got to Canada, when I came into this country, those capacity that I was able to build became very handy for me.
Because those are skills that you're acquiring.
Correct. So I don't know if I've answered the question. Don't worry so much about are you building that flair with people? Are you able to are you able to have lunch? Are you able to have dinner? No. You may just be in your space. Somebody thinks that, like Auntie B says, what makes an organization successful is the extra hours we all put in. If we all put in the regular hours of 8 to 4, you don't build great organizations that way. It's that extra that we put in that makes it extraordinary. If you craft from ordinary, it becomes only ordinary. But if you add extra, it becomes extraordinary.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Avivi, thank you for this, because really, I think he was actually speaking to me, right? Because I just picked up a project work, right, in the primary care network. And I was thinking, like, should I stick to this project work or should I just go out and chase locums to get money? But from what he's talked about now, with the vertical and the horizontal. So I think, I'll just stick to
Build
the horizontal
capacity.
for now.
Yeah. Because
Thank
you
you
know
so
what? The other one is going to come later.
Yeah, I
It
see.
would definitely come.
Yeah. Before
Because
I go, can I?
you are building capacity for what is to come,
Yeah.
which is developing yourself, building skills that you will apply later on.
Yeah, I
So
do
it's
agree.
not a loss at
Yeah,
all.
I see. Can I just quickly address Blessing? Hi, Blessing Adachiku. Yeah. Oh, my lovely. Yeah, with the social anxiety. Yeah, so that's not a big deal, right? So you can actually just contact your GP and speak to them. They can signpost you to resources where you can get some kind of counseling, some kind of behavioral therapies, things that could help you with that anxiety. There are many people, I've heard of patients, some people that wouldn't be able to go out of their house. It was that bad. Some people can't even look into screens, like maybe video consultations, things like that. And they were able to overcome it. So yeah, it's a thing. So it's not about you being introverted. I think it's just more about that social anxiety, and it's something that can be addressed. Okay. Is that all
All
right, my
right.
lovely? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ennis. Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you,
do appreciate. Yeah.
Temite.
All right. Until we
Thanks for
take it.
joining us. I
You're
appreciate you,
welcome.
darling.
Yes,
Take
ma'am.
care.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got 10 minutes more. Natu, you're welcome.
Happy Sunday, ma.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Brother Ernest, good afternoon, sir. Happy wedding anniversary. Congratulations on all your accomplishment. Thank you for being a Bible for us to read, as you said you are for your kids. We're also reading from you. So
Thank
we do
you.
appreciate you. So to piggyback on what you said, the other post I made earlier was about my dad, right? So back in the 80s, my dad is the first child to go to school in his family. He didn't have anybody to help him. He didn't have like uncles that are in high places. So every time he goes to the scholarship board, he used to be like nice to the gate man and the messenger. He will greet them. He'll sit down and gist with them. And when he's buying food, he asks them and you buy for them. So I think he said on the fifth day, the messenger now asked me, he said, come, you, what do you come to do here? He said, he's coming for the UK scholarship thingy and the US. Do you know that that messenger single-handedly took my dad's file? He's the messenger of the director of the scholarship board. He took his file and put it on director's desk on top. So when the man came, he signed my dad for two scholarships. He signed him for UK. He went to UK, did 1 year, came back and went back to America and did 4 years.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yes.
That
So
is
let's
that
just say
that is a sponsor.
the messenger is the reason why we're in the States today.
Oh my goodness. A messenger was your dad's sponsor who didn't even have the
Yes.
privilege of enjoying
No.
that scholarship.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
That's
So, and
powerful.
then the second one again to add about our building capacity, right? In 2006, I lost my job. That was close to my wedding. And one of my family friends here had me as his next of kin. He used to work with one guy that has a big security company. So the man used to call to complain about the guy when the guy was having like mental issues. So I went to Nigeria and came back, and the man left me a voicemail out of nowhere. And then he said that he wants to speak to me, that his wife is not too well. They have a 6-month-old son. They want a babysitter. And I just lost my job. But something new with like a graduate want to go and do babysitter. But I needed money too at that time. So I took the babysitter job. When I took that job, the man now asked me, do you drive? Because their house is far. And I said, yes, I have a driver's license. So he was telling me, you need a car, you need a car. So he borrowed me a car to be using at that time. And then we got talking. I came to Nigeria, did my wedding, came back. I was still there. And when I was taking care of his son, if you see me with the boy, you see on your life that that's my child. And that boy became my child because now, every first day of the year, the boy will come and tell me his school, the teacher he has, his new friends, everything, anything happening in their family, I go for. So when I started working with him, I was doing that diligently, and the pay was not much, but I took it. So one day he called me. He was like, "Have you applied for your husband's paperwork?" I said, "No. I'm trying to gather money so that I'll get a lawyer." I said, "You don't need lawyer." So one of the days he just told his wife, "I'm not coming back early," and he told me to bring all my paperwork. This man sat down, filled out the form. He went through it, make all the corrections for me, submitted the paperwork. After 4 months, I get a reply back. Let me tell you, in a nutshell, within 9 months, my husband was here. He made sure like everything was. I didn't have to pay any lawyer. I didn't have to pay the man. He did it on his own. And he said, "Don't worry, when your husband comes, I'm going to help him to get a job because it's a security company. I'll give your husband a job to start something before." And he made sure that my husband was put in a good place, that he'll get hours and get overtime.
Hmm.
And then he made me bought my first car. And when I had an accident with my first car, he went and saw a mechanic and saw a car. He wanted the car. He sent me a picture, like, "Do you like this car?" I said, yes. He paid the guy for the car and was taking it from my salary until I finished paying for the car.
Wow. Just by being a babysitter.
That's all. And he keeps telling,
Relationship,
yes, he keeps
relationship,
and then
relationship.
he gave me a job at his office, and I started working in the office. So the babysitting job, when the boy started going to school, he's like, "I'm just gonna need you time to time." So what I did was that when I started working in the office full time, I started collecting money for the babysitting. So I just
Hmm.
treat it like, I just, when you need me, just call me. So when
Hmm.
anytime he gives me money, I would say no. He like, "It's your money." I said, "No, I can't collect babysitting." I said, "These are my babies. Why should I if I can't collect money from my twins, I can't collect from you." So he gave me a job, he gave my husband a job, he gave my twin sister a job, he gave my sister's husband a job, and any other person I bring, the person is getting a job. But one thing the man keeps telling me, if at the end of the day you make up your mind that you want to leave, please let me know. I will support you. So every 6 months, I have to come and give me update on what I'm doing with my life. So what's the update? So what are we doing now? What are we doing that? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? He also gave my husband his first car to manage before he gets money to buy a better car. And that car is a
Wow.
1998 Corolla, but it has less than 100,000 miles. So it's like fairly new and it's a car for an old woman that she was using
Mm.
to go to church and go to the market. So it's like brand new.
Wow.
So
So
yes,
this is a couple of so many things, all because
yes,
you didn't feel like, oh, me that went to school, how
no,
can I take this job? But
no,
you took the
no.
job, you did it well, and you cultivated that relationship, and he became a massive sponsor for
Uh,
you and your
I'm sorry
family.
to say today to add to it, right? When I was doing it, when his wife wasn't feeling too well, I wasn't just babysitting the boy. So if he goes to work and I know the wife is the one that will do the laundry, I'll help her do the laundry and fold it for the kids. I'll help her
Mm.
sweep the house. It's not part of my job,
Mm.
but I'll do it. I'll help her sweep the house more. If they need me to stay late because of the kids, I will stay. You understand? And
You
then I
see the
became,
problem that a lot of people have, not to because of time, I'm going to move
mm,
on now. Thank you so much for contributing.
yes,
I
ma,
said I
my
put
pleasure.
an hour and a half because it's a big day in the house today. Thank you, my
Yes,
darling. You see the
yes,
problem that
ma.
a lot of our people have, thank you, darling, is attitude. Some
Ab-
people have really, really bad attitude.
Absolutely.
You've seen some people, wow, their attitude, yeah. And you know, there's something about people, a lot of people have been talking about character. There's an energy that we carry as human beings. And that energy, whether you are a believer or not, it just is out. Everybody, people can read it and they know where you are with them. That's a very massive testimony that, Natu just shared with us. Just taking a babysitter job, look at the doors that were opened.
Yeah,
Is that not a sponsor? All
absolutely. Absolutely.
right. Okay, Blessing, you got 2 minutes. Unmute yourself, please.
Good evening, Auntie B and Brother Ernest.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for
Welcome.
the teaching today. I
Thank
think I got misunderstood in the comment section, so that's why I have to hop in. Um, Maybe I said it wrongly. It's not like social anxiety. I have been working on myself for a long time now, and Auntie B, you know my situation, and to the level that I have come now, settled a little bit, is all about people sponsoring and helping me. Like when you get close to me, it's easy to know me. Like I trust people so easily, and I don't want to get close to people and they got to know me and they take advantage because I'm being nice to them. So like when I get close to people, they want to come closer and I cut them off. Like I'm not that kind of person. I know friends that can be on the phone like 2 hours, 3 hours, they're not tired. If you're keeping me on the phone for like an hour, I'll just have an excuse. I call the phone and I go. So I just realized my kind of person is being an introvert. But I was speaking to a friend that I got together to have a video for my YouTube, and he was telling me that you are just one step away from, you know, for people to grow in their business in 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 different areas of their life. You're just one relationship away,
Away.
and the
Yeah.
way you are, yeah, you don't wait for people to come to you and start a conversation. You have to go out there and start it. So people start I don't want to come to people and I'm looking like, for me, when somebody comes to me and they're being too nice, I always expect, what do they really want from me? So I don't want to be too nice to people to the level that
Mm-mm.
they're thinking, oh, there is
Mm-mm.
something this woman really needs from me. That is why she's acting like this. So I try to
Mm-mm.
create that boundary. So I'm not being too nice to people in a way
Mm-mm.
that, but when I see people like to the level, I didn't know this about myself until last 1 year that I went through this journey of leaving my marriage. And I got to know
So,
that when I get close to people, they know me and they want to help, they want to support. But this friend was just telling me recently, you have to let people in. So that is the question I'm asking, like, how do I go about this in an healthy way? So I'm not being perceived as being manipulative or that I'm doing this thing in a way. And I don't want to lose myself because I am an introvert and I don't want to come forcing myself to be an
Okay.
extrovert. The reason I'm saying this is when
Okay.
I'm in the
Listen,
in the
your time is up. Yeah. Finish that sentence so that
okay.
we can get some answers. Yeah.
Okay, so and I also realize when I'm by myself alone, I read, I get busy, I hardly watch TV, I feel happy. But when I
Mm-hmm.
go out there and I'm meeting large group of people for dinner or for events, at the end of the day, I feel mentally drained. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I have gone through or done so much. So I want an advice on how I can do this. And at the end of the day, I don't lose myself trying to be what I am not.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie B and Brother Ernest.
All
Thank
right, thank you. Thank you, Blessing. So I think you still need ongoing therapy. I'm going to allow you to speak, Brother Ernest, but let me just address this very quickly. So I think because of the experience that you've been through, she's a survivor of she's an imported wife who went through quite a lot,
you.
in the marriage and everything. So she left the marriage. I think she's still trying to find herself again.
Yeah,
And also, incidentally, Blessing comes from a background of, parents who were also not having healthy relationship and all that.
yeah,
So I think her perception about relationship, and maybe because of her experience, her parents' relationship kind of faulty. So when somebody is trying to befriend her, she's thinking, "What do you want?" So she's guarded
yeah,
so
yeah,
that she doesn't get hurt. So she's protecting herself so that it doesn't seem as if, "What do you want from me?" or "What do you want?" I mean, talking about romantic relationship. But you cannot go through life thinking that people always want something from you or you'll be paranoid,
yeah,
because that's some paranoia working there. We are talking about sponsorship in terms of, elevating yourself, you know, for success in your work, in business, and in life generally. And it starts with friendship. Relationship is all about, sometimes it's only about, if you want to start a friendship or build a relationship, even in your workplace, just about hello, you smile, good attitude, your body language. How are you? Even some conversations that, like in Britain here, we talk a lot about the weather because our weather is so miserable, so it's always changing. So that can be something that you start if you have social anxiety about befriending people or making friendship. Little tips like that can help. Just smile. When you have neighbors, smile at them. Hi, how's your day? How you going? Just little things like that. But I think where Blessing is coming from, she's still going to need a lot of work in terms of picking why she always feels that somebody would think, oh, I want something, or somebody will take me for granted. Overthinking things
absolutely,
instead of just taking relationship or friendship one step at a time.
absolutely.
So she does need a lot of therapy. I knew she had therapy before. I don't know if she's still in therapy, but you're still gonna need more. Yeah, I don't know what you have to add that, but Ernest.
I absolutely agree with you. I think you have hit the nail on the head. There's a factor of fear there, fear setting. So I think she'll be fine with counseling and just to keep taking the baby steps as she go along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Man of Prestige said, please speak on the relevance of introverts and extroverts to attracting sponsorship or a network. The relevance. I think you already talked about it at the beginning, to be honest. He did speak about it, whether you are introvert or extroverted. He talked about the power. I think that's why we're having this conversation in the first place. The
Absolutely,
opportunities that lie in sponsorship. I don't
absolutely.
know. Is there anything else you want to add because of Ola, man of prestige?
What I will add is I don't think there's an inhibition for you in terms of attracting sponsorship, the principle because of your personality traits. Whether you're an
Yeah.
introvert or an extrovert, we all have our strong points. Like I said, you could just be in your cocoon. You are not the outgoing type, but where you are, the assignment you are giving, you are just giving it to your best, which is why I use the illustration of David. He was far in the bush. He was not in the Israeli army where his brothers were working and they were, working as infantry officers, and they were potential CEC to come. But in the bush, what he was doing, you could take David like an introvert. because for him to be in the bush with sheep, obviously, if he was the outgoing and energy kind of person, then should have been among with his brothers in the military. So
They even forgot him in the bush. Remember? They didn't
yes,
remember. It was the prophet that now asked, how old is your children?
absolutely,
Before they now remember. The father now said, oh, how one know? He's in the bush somewhere.
yes. So David
Nobody
was,
remember. His own father
yeah, I
forgot
will have
him.
passed for an introvert if you look at David's
Yeah.
personality traits then. So your personality traits will not inhibit you in any way. We all have our strong,
Mm,
no matter who we are.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a character trait, who you are. It's not everybody that is extroverted, but everybody needs relationship. Life is all about relationships.
absolutely.
That's just what it is. It's about building quality relationships that will present opportunity for you to advance yourself. And Brother Ernest spoke at the beginning of the show, if you are just joining, that you can also attract negative sponsors without knowing it. And he gave an example. So if you are just joining, please watch the video again from the beginning. Bumi, welcome, my darling. How are you?
I'm good, Auntie B. Good afternoon, Auntie
Hi.
B. Good afternoon, Brother Ernest and all Obodo fam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all you're doing on this platform. This is my first time calling.
Oh,
And
thank you.
sometimes I make comments, but my first time calling this. I know this is not an easy job for you, but I don't know how you guys do it, but kudos to you. So I just want to say something real quick in regards to what Brother Ernest have been saying about building capacity. And sometimes we might have to go horizontally before we can launch vertically. And that's very
Absolutely.
correct because I have a personal experience about that. When I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get onto the next step of my career, from nurse to transitioning to a nurse practitioner, I had no experience as a nurse practitioner, but everybody was looking for experience. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I wasn't going to lie on my resume. So I started putting my applications out. I'm like, whoever wants to hire me will hire me. And somebody actually reached out and wanted to hire someone as a nurse practitioner I tried for 6 months. And the first thing she said to me is, I really need somebody with experience, but I just want to give it a try. So she called me or the MD called me for a walk-in interview, and I went for the walk-in interview. While she was doing the interview with me, she had to see some patients, so she excused herself. And I asked her, she had a couple of patients. I said, "Do you want me to see one of your patients?" She was like, "Oh, sure." So I went in, I saw the patient, everything was fine. And after the visit, she was like, "I'm really impressed by what you did. You know what? You get the job." So that was
Wow.
how I was able to,
Wow.
get a job. So starting salary for me, I couldn't discuss it with people because it didn't make sense. It was very low. A lot of people would not accept that, even as a new nurse practitioner. But I was like, you know what? I need that experience anyways, because that's what everybody's looking for. So I went through that horizontal thing. I was there for 5 years. If I had any increase in my pay, it was very minimal. I still did not care. But after 3 years, she opened a new practice and she said, "Oh, I want you to go head the practice," which of course I did. I was okay with it. But when I got to the new practice, there was a lot of we had MAs, and as a practitioner, all you need to do is see patients. But I was doing other things. I was drawing my patient's blood. I was, doing other things in the office, not knowing that God was actually preparing me for my own clinic. So 5 years down the line, when I was, when during COVID was when I actually started my own clinic. And I just looked back and said, wow, it was because of what I did for the past 5 years. The pay wasn't great, but that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the bone of contention. What really matters is that I was ready to launch into my own practice without any problem. I was very ready because the 5 years actually prepared me. So I
You
just
were
want to
building,
encourage.
you were thoroughly building capacity for 5 years,
Yes,
taking less salary that you know that you should be taking,
yes,
but it prepared you to start your own clinic, which is
yes.
something probably you see. This is our God. Sometimes I think God is a comedian sometimes, because I tell you, Bumi, if you had a job, you had the experience that they are looking for, and you got a job as a nurse practitioner and you were earning the big bucks, maybe you'll be so comfortable earning all that money that you won't want to start your own business.
Exactly. Exactly. And I didn't think I was going to start a business when I started. But not only do I have my business, I'm actually helping other nurse practitioners to actually get their experience as well. And I can't count how many nurse practitioners that I've actually precepted over the course of 3 years when I started my own business. And that alone just gives me the joy that I'm actually able to help other people to get that experience. Because by the way I train the nurse specialists that comes under me, I train them so that when they get out there, they don't really need that experience because they already get that experience during their clinical rotation. So I was really, that really brings me joy, when I see people, doing their clinicals with me and graduating with honors. I just want to encourage people that, as Christians, I go to church, I pray, but whenever we have any program at church, we do 7 days program, we pray and fast and we do all that. One thing I always think of is, where is your jar after all these prayers and fasting? Are we just going to come back and do the same program next year again without doing anything different? You have to have a jar. You have to have something for God to actually bless. Just like Jesus did, even in the Bible, with the three loaves of with the bread and the fish, it wasn't like it wasn't just staring in the moon or in the sky and said, okay, we need all 3,000 fishes of bread. She said it asked them to bring some, and then he blessed the little that they had, and he multiplied. So you have to have something to actually get, you have to have that to be able to build that capacity as well. And I also want to encourage people to have a mentor. It's always good to have somebody that can help you even through the line that you're going to. And just one more last thing. The only impossible journey is the one that we never start. And that's a quote by Anthony. I can't remember the last name right now. So we have to start something, and for God to even bless it. So we can't just sit at home. I'm an introvert. I maybe an extreme to some extent, but you just have to speak up. Sometimes you have to just you have to launch sometimes, and then God will bless what you have and multiply it to be a better one. That's all I have to say, Atibe.
Thank you so much, Bumi. Congratulations on starting your own business. And thank
Thank you,
you
Atibe.
for paying it forward. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll continue to speak about this. Somebody had the audacity the other day to tell me that we shouldn't do this kind of shows because we are not about talking about success and building and all this, that we should stick to domestic violence. I say, well, you should look for another platform where you can go if you are not interested. There are actually people that are interested in these conversations. I know we're not going to have a full house like we usually do. If tomorrow now we want to talk about somebody, Lowo or Yol Edoche, now we have a lot of people, but that's fine. But it's all about learning value. We are bringing value. Brian has taught us something a lot of people didn't know today. We are talking about sponsorship because, look, in life, what people don't understand is that when you are stagnant, when you are stagnant, any water that stays in a place, it doesn't flow. It's stagnant. It doesn't flow. After a while, we begin to stink. The only thing that is constant in life is change. I don't know why people are so afraid of changes. What if it works? What if it works? Maybe one day, Brian, will have to come back and also talk about things, because it's good for us as Christians, especially like Bumi was saying, Nigeria, where we're going to start from. People will always tell you that, if they say, tell us a story, how did you get to where you are? Nagado. You never see people that actually give you practical examples or how they got to where they are. It's always Nagado. No, there are principles to it. And
Absolutely.
also, what I strongly believe, I was thinking about it the other day, is also sharing some of the things that people who are living their dream, or they have achieved or keep achieving their dreams, some of the areas, things that they've done that they failed, because failure is part of success as well. What are the
Absolutely.
things that you've done that you failed at? What are the learning from it? What did you learn? Have you done a business? I know I have a whole lot of stories to share about that as well. So I think that is also very, very important for us to talk about. It's not about not failing. You will try many things, but you gotta keep trying. You gotta keep pushing, because you cannot just be complacent and say, there's no way. Today we are talking about relationships, building quality relationship. Right? Let's talk to us about, principles that are universal. Incidentally, Reverend Sam talks a lot about this principle. He said, if you jump from a house, a 3-story building or 10-story building in Dubai, and another person jumps from a 10-story building in New York, it's the same effect it's going to have. That's principles. If
Absolutely.
a poor man jump and a rich man jump, it's the same thing that is going to happen. These are
Absolutely.
principles. They are universal. They are not selective of age, they are not selective of color, they are not selective of race or gender. It's universal. He also talked, because I was taking notes, he talked about life being all about relationships. What are the quality of relationships? Some people don't have friends. I think this thing of being introverted and being so afraid to cultivate friendship needs to be addressed. Because some people think, "Ah, I don't want any wahala. So let me not just build any relationship at all." So even in their place of work, they don't talk to anybody. They just mind their business. They do their work, they go home, and they are just living a very linear kind of life. No contact, no relationship. So if you want to use and apply the principles that Brian has taught us today about sponsorship, you must learn how to cultivate relationships. And sponsorship is all about somebody giving you a platform, and is the gap between mentorship and getting to where you want to get to. You can have a plan, all the big plans. I think somebody in the comment section said it earlier on. I can't remember who it was. Said that once you are driven, if you are ambitious, that you will get there. No, there are some people that are very very ambitious and they never actualize their dreams. Just being ambitious or driven alone is not enough. You
Absolutely.
need the platform. You need opportunities. You need sponsors. I think that's what we learned today. Again, what did I write? What are the relationships that you're building? Are you building positive relationships or negative relationship? Are you a very critical person, always talking down on other people's blessings, always having something to say? Everybody is blessed, you have a problem with it. It's either they did juju or they did money ritual. Never have something positive to say. Hmm? What kind of people do you hang around? Brian has taught us today that you need to hang around the right kind of people, because people who do not celebrate you can never elevate you. They can never give you the opportunity to ever rise.
Absolutely.
So those are my notes that I took. Finally, now let's have the last but not the least word for our brother Ernest.
Thank you. And Pipi, I think I will start with say thank you for, we spent about 90 minutes plus. Thank you for the
Yeah. Always does. These shows never stick to time. I don't know. It's hard.
I'm sure my thanks to everybody who also dived in today and listened. Even though, like I said, today is not for saga, but I'm sure we have all gained something one way or the other today. That is not saga driven or passion driven, but some lessons of life. Because life without a sponsor cannot reach its full potential, its full zenith. And like I said at the beginning, uh, don't go through the journey of life without this principle. It's not worth the headache. You don't need to prove anything that I succeeded on my own. Nobody gave me a helping hand. I did it all on my own. The headache is not.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you go through that process, by the time you arrive your destination, you're going to have bruises and lacerations all over your body, and you will never enjoy the journey or when you arrive your destination.
Mhm.
Please key into this principle, uh, apply it deliberately, be very strategic about it. Like Auntie B said, what the mind doesn't believe cannot work for the person. So
Mhm.
believe in your mind that this principle actually works. Don't see it as those that is working for that they are being favored, this favoritism or something
Mhm.
impartial. That is how
Yeah.
that's how the world is wired. So work at your own what I call work at your salvation also with fear and trembling.
Mhm.
And trust me that someday you're going to send me a note, you're going to testify that this thing actually works. So I wish everyone a great week ahead. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Brother Ernest. Thoroughly enjoyed spending time with you as usual. When you talk about marriage, I enjoy it. When you talk about sponsorship, I enjoy it. If you haven't got the books, please get Brother Ernest's books. He's got two books here that we've talked about. We launched them here a while ago. Yeah, the one that I forgot, Dr. Abby, thanks for reminding me. Not all sponsors will look like you. Some are drivers. Some might be your dry cleaner. Some might be your cleaner. Some might be your cook. Some might be, they can be anybody, they can be any gender, anyone can be a sponsor. So please don't look down on anybody. Respect everybody. that you come across. Very, very important. One of the best way to cultivate good relationship is by respect, mutual respect. It's very, very important that you respect people. Some people only want to be respected, but they never want to respect other people. You
Yeah,
can't build relationship like that.
absolutely. Ability takes you to the top, but character will sustain you at the top.
Yeah, character. Very, very important. So these are the books. There is the one that we're talking about today is The Potent Force of Sponsorship. Get it on Amazon, either Amazon UK or Amazon.com. It's called The Potent Force of Sponsorship. I've been sharing it since. And the second one is The Audacious Faith. You can read this book under 1 hour. Some people that are fast reader can even read it on less. And they are very, very interesting because they're loaded with, real examples. So get yours today, The Audacious Faith. This one is where Brother Ernest was talking about his journey in Nigeria with the company, that a multinational company that he worked with. And that was very interesting. Faith. We need it all. Somebody said in the last show that even unbelievers, they have faith. They might not call it faith, but when you believe in something, the ability for you to believe in something is faith. Yeah, you must be. You have to have faith. Otherwise, you will not believe that. Oh, you will create something and it will work, or you start a business and it will work, or you do something that will be groundbreaking and it will work. It takes a level of faith. So yeah, thank you so much, sir, for being here tonight. We really appreciate you. Have
Thank
a
you.
nice afternoon. My love for Auntie Gloria, to Auntie Gloria, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay, guys, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. Please get Brother Ernest's book. They are all on Amazon. Read them. Knowledge is very, very much needed. There are some things that you cannot change in your mind, except you have knowledge. One of the fastest way to acquire knowledge is to read. These books they are not really, really big that you say, oh, I can't read. You can be on the train, on the bus, your lunch break, just bring it out and read it. Yeah. If you don't know how to read, eh, just try. Mm? It will make you look intelligent. So just read. It's good to read. I love, 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 love to read. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. I am back on Tuesday. How many of you saw that video by D1? We call him D1 back in the day when I was growing up. He was, what was he? Is he OAP they call them? I don't know what they call them. D1 was talking about bringing something to the table. This table matter. We want to talk about it. If you have time, Afrotizen, Brad Ben, please join us that day. I want us to talk about it because we keep hearing that brothers will be saying, what are women bringing to the table? D1 was saying, that you bring, if you are fine, you do this, you do this. If you have kerewa, and that's it. But why is it that men keep going for those women who they say they don't bring anything into the table? Personally, I feel that there's a controversy there, or people don't mean what they say, because we see very super intelligent women, women who have a lot to bring to the table, but they are overlooked for the ones that do BBL and boobies and all the things that you people say that with empty brains. Why is it that they are the ones that you are sliding into their DM if you really mean it? So let's talk about this table and bringing what are you bringing? What are you bringing to the table? Oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. No, Egbami. I'm still showing this one. This is not what I meant to show. Let me show you guys. I think I set it up. What I meant to share is bringing to the table. What are you bringing to the table? Sorry about that. I'm sharing the wrong thing there. I want to talk about what D1, is it D1? It's D1 they call him, isn't it? I can't remember. It was one of the most handsome guys back when we were growing up in Nigeria. Very handsome. He's grown beard and looking older now. But he was talking the other day about what can you bring to the table? What do women bring to the table? This conversation is endless. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on Tuesday. Do brothers really want what people bring to the table, or they are just saying it? Hmm? Do you really want people who can bring something to the table? Eh? What are you bringing to the table? Yeah, this is the right one. What do women bring to the table? What are you bringing? BBL, Kerewa, sense. What are you bringing to the table? Do they mean it, brothers? We really want to hear from brothers that they come and tell us what you want. What do you want women to bring on the table? That's why I'm inviting Ben. Ben, you have to come on Tuesday. Come and tell us, what do men really want on this table? What do you want on the table? Let's talk about it so that we can prepare what you want. So that at least women can listen and see what they need on this table. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. It was really, 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 really enlightening. I learned something. I don't know about you. Please share this video. Give us a thumbs up. Like it. And I appreciate everybody that contributed. And I shall see you on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Ben, come and tell us what you people want on this table. Brother Patrick, sir. You are late today, but it's fine. Thank you, sir. We want to share what you people want on this table. Because I personally believe that what you are saying is different from what you are actually doing. What you are saying is not aligning with what we are saying. Aha. Okay, but let's shake the table on Tuesday. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you on Tuesday evening. Have a lovely week ahead. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And please remember that life is all about relationships. Even our Lord and our personal Savior had quality relationships. Relationships, relationships, relationships. Very, very important for you to excel and accelerate to the next level. Have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Ben, what are you saying? Auntie be able to fango buy you if you talk, oh? Eh? No, we know they buy people for here. Ben, you supposed to know that one now. You know buy people for here. Come and tell us. But I know assume say you now you go represent all the whole brothers. Hopefully we'll have other brothers calling because now I get the table. So we won't find out what una want make we bring come. Since una they invite us to come chop for the table. What I want now, Gbano? I been a okra. I been a moi moi. Oh yeah. Thanks everybody. I appreciate you. Have a lovely week. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye guys. Bye bye. Timothy say kindly make it a panel. Okay. Come and be part of the panel then. Come and be a part of the panel. We'll do it panel. No wahala. I did for now. All right. Bye guys. See you Tuesday.